Hello, my name is Celeste, and I'm here to give you a program that you can do to help release your low back and also to open up in through the chest and shoulders. This is a pretty gentle program, and it's going to help you to get a better breathing and to help relax the spine, low back. Now, all you'll need is a block, that's not a block, is a belt and your bolster. And, you know, many people will not have a bolster, so you could use a couple of couch pillows that you could belt together, tie with a belt or an old tie, something like that. And then that'll give you the length that you need in through your spine to use that. So come down, start by coming onto your back and release into the floor. And let your shoulders relax. Now bend the knees and draw the knees into the chest and gently rock side to side to help release the low back. And just begin to feel your spine release into the floor. And your knees can be apart, especially if you find you've got a lot of weight and you're voluptuous and you need to get around the body. Just feel free to bring the knees really wide. And if you do a rock, you'll get into each side of the spine, and that feels great. Your elbows are bent so that you're not using your shoulders, and that keeps your breathing open. And then you can let your left leg straighten and draw your right knee in. Now just gently lift the head, tuck your chin, and draw that knee in nice and close. So you get a great stretch in through the hip flexor, and let this left leg reach out so that you can get lots of length in through the top of the thigh. And then just come on into circles with that knee. And again, your upper body is relaxed. Shoulders are free. And come in the other direction. And if you're really squeezing in through the thigh, the quad, it's going to help the hip flexor and the psoas muscle right at the bottom of the abdomen. So it's a beautiful spring day today, and the cardinals were singing earlier. It was beautiful. Oh, there's the vulture. Oh my God. Okay. So now you can just let that leg release and draw your left leg up. So pulling that left knee in. Pull in nice and snug. And come on into circles. Again, let your shoulders be free. Just let the bend of the elbows pull that leg in. And as always, notice how the movement feels without any, thought about it. If you feel, a tight pulling in through the hip flexor, notice it and breathe deep so that you can get that information, but don't think of it as tight because that's just going to make more tension in through the hip flexor. So both directions. And then just pull the knee in, lift the upper body, just tuck your chin in, stretching in through the low back. And then you can release the leg and let the leg come down. Totally release. And your shoulder blades are under. Let your back go. I'm going to check my cheat sheet here. Now you can come on onto your back. Onto your front. So just come on into all fours position and bringing your arms right under your shoulders. Bend down onto the elbows with your hands apart. Now take an in-breath and gaze straight ahead with the eyes. Press the elbows down into the floor and the tops of the feet down so that the tailbone pulls down. You're gazing ahead, as I said, with the eyes. And then you breathe in. Then you can exhale, round your spine. Let the head drop and dangle and press the elbows into the floor. So you're making space in between your shoulder blades. Now just stay there and breathe in and out. Keep the tops of the feet pressing down. Keep the head dropped. Lots of space between the shoulders. If you need to look up to see what I'm doing, I'm just really pressing the palms down and the elbows down to get the space in between the vertebrae in the back. And then you can breathe in, gaze up, lift the eyes, arc your back so the bum tips up, and then you can exhale once again, round the spine. So this is like a cat stretch. And then here again, go right back into the lift. Lift the eyes, arc the back, Exhale, round again. Just let the head drop. And if you want to do this a bunch more times, just pause the video and keep on going. Because we're going to do just one more now that you have the form. Exhale, press the elbows down. And then you can come right up, coming to all fours. And the palms again are under the shoulders, elbows are slightly bent. Now take your right arm across and get on the outside of your right shoulder. And then you release the weight of the head to the floor. So you get that fantastic opening in through the back. And this hand, there's no weight on it. All the weight drops through your shoulder blade into the floor. I used to often ask my yoga teacher, where's the weight? And she'd look at me and I knew I was in trouble. And I'd say, well, where's the weight go, Michelle? She says, Celeste, the weight goes into the floor. So see if you can keep from holding anything. Can you let the weight go right down into the floor so there's no holding in through your neck or shoulders? And then you can breathe in, come all the way back up. Here we go, other side. Exhale, come on onto the left cheek if you got the left arm across. Here we go. I'm going to do this side because I feel weird facing away from you. So just come on down. So imagine I'm on the other side. And again, breathe deep. Release the shoulder. Let your weight of your head drop completely as you're pulling up through the core in here. Breath. And then you can come on back up. And now with the hands underneath the shoulder, take the middle hand in the very middle, or the left hand in the very middle under your chest. Press into the floor. Breathe in. And just open the chest. Gaze up. Shoulder blade is down. Keep your chin in and reach out through the top of the head. And then come on down. Press the right palm into the floor. In breath, come up. Open the chest. It feels great. It feels like a big ta-da that you open the chest and ribs. Let's do that again. Press into the left hand. Bring the right arm up. Open. It's a big in-breath to expand the chest and the lungs. And then coming back down. You're also stretching in through the core, lower core, especially if you can press your feet down. Press your feet down and you'll get the lower core. God, that feels good. Let's do that again. Press again. This is really good for stretching the chest and the shoulders, but it's also good for emotional angst because you're expanding in through the solar plexus, which is where emotional tension gets held. And the chin is in. You're gazing up with the eyes. That directs your spine. That goes right along with osteopathy. When you lift and use the eyes, directs your spine. Okay, because osteopathy is fabulous. Just a little plug there. And then you come into child's pose as I look at my cheat sheet. Just exhale, bring the arms forward, release to the forehead. Release and breathe in and out through the nose as always through the nose. Really nice stretch. Okay, here we go. Come on back up, and of course, feel free to stay in that pose longer if you need to. Now, from here, let's come onto the back, and we're going to open the chest by using either the pillows that you have belted together or the bolster. So here's a big bolster, and it goes with my shirt. That's important. Just let your bolster come across, so it's going to be right at the shoulder blades or the bra strap. So just at the bottom of the shoulder blades. And you're going to, you know what? You're going to need another pillow, and that will help to support the neck. So here we go. You're going to take the bolster there. I'm going to keep the pillow here because most people will need to put another pillow underneath. And the pose is to bring your legs straight out. Have your low back on the floor so it's not lifting up. And then you're going to bring the shoulder blades to the top of the bolster. Let your head come back and let the arms just spill over the bolster. And I'm going to show you two versions. This one, I've got the shoulder blades at the very top and tipped to this side. And then the weight of the head comes back. And if you didn't have a bolster, another thing you can do is hang over the edge of a bed. If that's okay with your neck, if there's no compression in through the back of the neck, cervical spine. But otherwise, you come right onto the floor, and I like to do a little niggling of the ribs, pulling in and up. So on the exhale, I'll pull the ribs in, and that helps to open in through the rib cage. And your shoulders are resting back. The palms are up to the ceiling. And you breathe, and you just enjoy the pose. So as you're in this lovely pose, just notice how your body is experiencing it, or reacting would be the word you'd think. See if you can notice what's happening in your body. Is there an increase in tension? And if there is, can you breathe a little deeper on the in-breath? And then fully exhale on the out-breath. So breathe in deep on the in-breath to expand the chest and the ribs. And exhale fully on the out-breath. Now, if you're experiencing tension in the low back, come down, okay? So bring your feet down lower, like so, and so that you're not as far back, and that will help to drop the weight of your bum and your back, and that will be a little easier. Just make sure the shoulders are in a good place. You might need to bend the elbows, so kind of like guillotine this way, and let the elbows come down and open. Otherwise, you could do this as well. Or this, just find the best position for your arms. And I know it's tricky because you got to look up and see what the heck I'm doing when you're lying down. So feel free to play this a few times so you get familiar with where do my arms need to go. And let your whole front body go, let you go, and breathe. I'm going to go back to the original one because it's way nicer if you can. So the elbows come over, and then you've got the weight of the head coming back, and the chest is opening. Now, when you breathe in again, it's like you're breathing in through the nose, and it's like you have straws in the nostrils that are going back and down in the throat. You're opening the chest, the rib cage, diaphragm, which separates the rib cage from the hips, and your feet relax. So your lower body lets go. And you're experiencing this from the belly button up more than anywhere else. See if you can let your low back go. Also, if your low back was tight, you could have a pillow, a firm, like a sofa square pillow underneath your back, and like this, that you could have it under your tailbone, and then that would give you height, and you would do that, and that would give you more release in the upper body while letting your low back go. And let your legs out and let go. Go into your breathing and let your shoulders be free. And take in one more breath in this pose. And if you need to stay here, just pause the video. Okay, now to come out of the pose, bend your knees and have the feet flat on the floor. And just feel your low back let go here. Next, press your feet down as you are, and then take your hands behind your head, interlace the fingers. Now tuck your chin, so you're going to come up this way, and then keep your right hand behind. Take your left hand to the bolster or the pillows, push up. Use your core to lift, and then your back is staying supported. Then you take the bolster off your mat, let it go. You can take your pillow off the mat, and then come on down onto the floor once again. Bend your knees. Just let your whole body go. And then next, you can take a strap or an old man's tie. It doesn't have to be an old man, but it could just be a tie. And then just take the feet. Now you're going to strap around the ankle, just in the arches. Bring the legs up. Let your legs come wide. And strap wide, elbows bend so your shoulders are free. And then bend down like so. So that you are stretching into your low back and you're letting your back go and bringing your heels in and your knees up to your ribs. Now, if this is a piece of cake, then you would just be strapless. And then you would just hold on to your legs and maybe low legs to go right into happy baby, which is lovely. And you would bend your knees to the outside and let your low back lift off the floor. Or again, if you've got the strap, you could still pull over. So you might pull over this way with your strap and bend the knees So the low back comes off the floor. The gaze is to the ceiling, so the back of the neck has space. You're not tucked. There's a picture of Marilyn Monroe like that, but I think she's probably just looking at her cleavage, just understandable. You actually want to let the gaze be to the ceiling and your elbows are bending and you're pulling in. And then you can gently release. Let the strap down. Let your knees bend. Relax the upper body completely. And then we're going to come up into a breathing. So now I'm going to do a breathing exercise, and it's called Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi is the sound that the ocean makes. It's also the sound of Darth Vader breathing. So you want to come into a comfortable position, and you might have something hiking up your bum because you might need more of a lift to come forward, and that will help to lengthen your spine and get you nicely dropped into your bum. So, and also you could do this kneeling, if that's okay. And if it's too hard on your knees to kneel, you would take a pillow underneath here, and you'd sit on the pillow, bolster, so that you can have your back tall. I think I'm going to try kneeling. So you're coming into your nice tall back. You feel good. So try not to be held in a stoic position, because that's nasty and uncomfortable, and you won't breathe well. And then just adjust. And let your hands relax on your lap in either position. And then we're going into Ujjayi breath by using a lot of space in the ribs. The ribs feel like they lift, and to me that feels like someone comes up behind you and gives you a bear hug. It's a pull up of the ribs. And you're keeping space in between the hips. And if you take your middle finger and just place it right on the tip of the hips, and everybody can feel this regardless of your body weight, there is a tip of the bone that is the outside pelvic wing. And you press your middle finger there, and then you take your thumbs and you place it on the first rib you're going to feel, which is your first floating rib generally, and it's right at the top as opposed to bottom. And if you got lots of body, just feel length in here. So again, feel like you're coming up like this, bear hug, lift up. And there's your space. Now this is referred to as bunda. Bunda is a Sanskrit for lock, and it's a feeling like a jellyfish up. Imagine a jellyfish floating up, and it's that kind of a lift that you're getting in here. And that helps you to have a lot of space in the ribs and the hips and get your best breath, and your diaphragm is open. Okay, so there you are, you're in position. Now you keep that space in your ribs, and then you breathe in. I'm going to be really loud. So it's a Darth Vader sound. It's a... Retain the breath for a moment, let it swirl around inside. You're soft, and then exhale. Breath in again, breathe in. Keeping this height, and then exhale. So you're pulling the abdominal wall in on the exhale. You breathe in, lift. Try to keep this lift the whole time. Go at your own rate, of course. I'm just suggesting a depth of breath. And then exhale. Breathing in again. And exhale. It's hard not to feel good when you do this, because you're getting space in your vertebrae. That increases your physical energy, always. Again, breath in. And exhale. That's a Ujjayi breath. So again, Darth Vader sound. It's not an abdominal breath, so there's not a fluctuation of the abdominal wall. It's more of a lift here, but you're not sucking in. You're keeping space in here so that this area can work actively, but there isn't a contraction. There isn't tension in the abdominal wall. You're keeping space there. And that's it. So that's Ujjayi breath. That's the completion for helping front and back of the body, and also for helping the body to get into a deeper sense of lightness. So if it feels like you're carrying your body around, it means that there's a disconnect between, I'm simplifying here, between the solar plexus and the brain. And that means that the vagus nerve, to get a bit of anatomy, is actually being there's less conduction of circulation or energy in between the vagus nerve, chest, breath, heart, and the brain. And that will always cause tension, even if it's low grade. You can't be slightly pregnant. If you have low grade tension, your thoughts are different. So you want to notice if you're having tension in your body. Go into breathing, and this will help to create the connection between the vagus nerve, create connection of the vagus nerve between the brain and the tissue, the body, to, again, oversimplify. Okay, I hope that helps. And enjoy, and email me with any questions. Thank you.